I think we're on the cusp of an absolutely huge move for the crypto market, and I'll show you in today's show exactly why. We'll also talk about the stock market and how it's shaking off a lot of the negativity, right? So maybe that's a sign for what may come next for the crypto markets. I'll show you as well where I would actually pull the trigger and you have full confirmation that there is some sort of a reversal, at least of the low time frame trends, which continue to remain towards the downside, which is why you can see a lot of these bubbles are red, right? A lot of them are red over here. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And then remember, also in today's show, we are going to be giving away some BitFunded accounts for absolutely free. So make sure you stay until the very, very end. Those are valued at $79. You'll get a $5,000 trading account that you can trade with. Stay until the end. I'll show you exactly how you can do it because it's pretty easy. It's going to be first come, first serve for the first 20 people. So make sure you stay until the very end and I'll show you exactly how it's done, right? So having a look over here at the S&P 500 futures chart, remember this is the prior all-time highs right here at 6,128. We spoke about this yesterday. We said this is very, very, very close to breaking back into all-time highs. Yet the fear and greed index actually for the stock market for the S&P 500 is in fear, right? It's sitting in that fearful zone, which is absolutely unbelievable when prices are basically at all-time highs. And yesterday you got a big push up over here. We had another bad read, right? So heated CPI or inflation data coming out, now heated PPI data coming out as well, which some say is the main metric that the Fed uses in determining what they should do with the interest rate hikes or cuts, right? And that coming up high again is typically something bearish for the market, but yet the stock market pushing up towards new highs over here shows how it's shaking everything off, right? It shook off the DeepSeek threats, because remember, DeepSeek was, of course, threatening to dethrone, platforms like NVIDIA as well. Anything in the AI sector is getting absolutely smashed, and that holds massive weighting in the S&P 500. That got shooken off. And then we have also the tariff wars, right, which has also been shaken off. And now you have a high PPI read with CPI read. And yet, where do the prices go? Up, right? Up, pushing towards new all-time highs. So this is like a pressure cooker prepping to break out. And then for crypto, at least, we're seeing one good sign, something very, very positive, which could potentially swing things in the favor of the bulls, right? So don't give up hope yet, right? Usually it's right in the dying seconds when you're about to capitulate or even have capitulated in some cases, that something magical starts to take place. I'm not saying that this is the magical move, but it could be. And that is the DXY, right? The DXY is starting to show real signs of weakness. I mean, I would say that's close enough. You've taken out that wick low that occurred on January the 27th. And that means lower lows and lower highs is the name of the game. And you're breaking back into the trading range, which means that the slight edge that I've been giving the bulls, I've been saying, very, very slight edge, about 51% in the bulls' favor, 49% in the bears' favor. Bulls are walking on extremely thin ice and about to break down. This shifts those odds, right? DXY coming down over here can start to shift those odds to more. I'd go now sitting somewhere around about a 55 to 60% in the bulls' favor that the Bitcoin bulls will be back, right? They will save the day one way or another. So we'll see. We should get some very valuable information leading into the end of this week. If you see bulls reclaim $100,000, that is going to be incredibly, incredibly significant. So it's been a difficult market. It's been a very choppy market. Let me know in the poll section, which is pinned to the comments bar there, what do you think? What are we going to see this weekend? Are we going to get a weekend pump? Are we going to get a weekend dump? Or are we just going to continue to chop and move sideways? I would love to know, right? So let's see. We'll monitor this chart over here. But this is a pretty significant trend line. You've broken that. You're breaking back into the trading range. And therefore, you can start to target down towards at least somewhere in the mid-range region. If you lose that, a trend all the way back down to the bottom over here towards 100 would yield some pretty big moves, right? For the crypto market, typically, it's not always 100%, but most of the time, DXY coming down means risk on, right? Risk on assets move up, which means we're looking for something similar to occur on the USDT dominance, where we did get the 50% wick fill. We've hit that level. And now we want to see this break back into the trading range, just like the DXY is breaking back into this trading range, right? So if you look at it visually, it looks pretty similar, right? You've got this choppy area over here, break over the top side. This is just obviously on a much smaller scale, but you want to see it break back into this trading range and head down towards that support. And that should provide some absolutely much needed relief for the crypto markets. And I said that I can prove why you're probably going to see a very, very, very big move very, very soon, right? And that's got a lot to do with this, right? The liquidation levels are becoming less and less and less. Because nobody's trading this market. They're getting chopped in, chopped out. The last time we had these big moves over here, you can see this was the just over the $2 billion worth of liquidations taken. I think it was on the Monday, the 3rd of February over there. And since then, you know, we've just been chopping and range bound. And oftentimes following these mass liquidations, price takes a little bit of time to resettle, redigest things, and then start to prep for the next move. But what I really want to focus on is overhead over here. If you focus on the top, you can see the 24-hour volume has dropped by 29.61%, right? So it's showing a reluctancy to take a side or position in the market because most people are just completely over it. That's one thing. I mean, that is kind of what the thumbnail suggests, right? The pros are not doing anything until this happens. But when this happens, which I'll talk about what this is, the pros will step back in, right? You need to wait for a break of the range, and that should come very, very soon because naturally it's mathematically impossible for the volume to just continue to drop and drop and drop and drop in a market like this. It will at some point come back, and when it comes back, that is the initiation of the next big move, right? So for now, we got a small glimmer of hope. We'll refresh this in a couple of hours' time to get the 14th of February data, but a glimmer of hope that this started to tick towards the upside. I'm assuming that when they do the refresh over here, this should be trading closer towards the $75 billion mark on the volume. It is lower lows and lower highs, but maybe it can start to break through some of these key overhead levels, right? This is still relatively low volume compared to what you would expect in a bull run, which just reinforces again, it's probably going to be a long cycle. I know a lot of people actually believe the cycle's already over, and yes, there are bearish divergences on the weekly time frame that are yet to be confirmed. And if they did get confirmed, yes, in fact, maybe the cycle could be over, but I think it's incredibly unlikely. I give very, very high odds to the bulls probably continuing this on much longer into the year, right? So pay attention to the later parts of the year. Now, lining up with the drop in volume, we also have, of course, the Bollinger Band with percentile over here, which did drop to these low levels. It started to get exciting as it expanded over here, but it never got above the 10 percentile mark. Now, I'd expect when it does get above the 10 percentile mark, that should simultaneously take place with the volume spiking, right? So sometimes you get these kind of fake out moves, right? Where it starts to look like it's going to break out and then it recontracts, you know, keeping people on their toes, keeping them frustrated, which the markets are so good at doing. And then later on, it breaks out. When this breaks out, that's going to be your signal for the next big move. Now you need to get your directional bias correct because, of course, if it does expand towards the upside and price is breaking down, it could mean a very, very deep correction, right? So here it is. We've seen a full reset already on the stochastic RSIs. We've seen a full reset once again on the Bollinger Band with percentile, and bulls continue to defend this key $90,000 level. So all the action is occurring around that zone. You can see on the daily, the stochastic RSI is once again attempting to turn back up, right? And we've defined pretty well the key levels that we focused on over here. Let's clean some of this up over here. But essentially, just focusing on something as simplistic as the stochastic RSI on the daily, it's starting to turn up. 3 days starting to turn up. Now, this is not a long signal in itself. It just means if you start to clear certain levels, that's where the pros will step in. And that's where you'll have confirmation that the next move is probably going to take place, right? If you do start to see price trading above that $100,000 mark and closing there, well, it's going to start to look like this is a major high low following this shakeout period over here. And your 3-day moving averages or your 3-day stochastic RSIs will start to turn back up. 5 days should also start to turn back up. Weekly should also start to turn back up because remember, naturally, it's always going to be the low time frames that move first. So daily before the 3-day, before the 5-day, and then into the weekly. And then you start to get a very different picture and a powerful trend, right? So bulls need to get above these key zones, right? Again, why the $100,000 level? Well, that will get you above the high volume area that we've been focusing on. And if they can't get above there and you reject, well, there is still this magnetic draw into the volume profile over here where you've got this gap, right, between $77,000 and $85,000. We've spoken a lot about the significance of that, so I don't want to harp too much on that. There is major support below first bounce area is going to be around this 89K level, which is strong support. And therefore, it makes complete sense to still give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, as I've just said, with a tight stop loss, which would simply be below this candle over here, right? Below the Monday, what was this date again? Monday, the 13th of January, right? Below that low over there. If you want a super tight stop, I guess you can go below Monday, the 3rd of Feb. But if you want a little bit of a looser stop, I think this is the one to go for. Give the bulls the benefit of the doubt over here. Give them an opportunity to break price up. And the reason that I say that is because I was looking at this yesterday on a zoomed in chart. And when you focus on it like this, what you're seeing is these constant wicks, right? Wicks. Yes, it's happening on the top side as well as it rejects into those moving averages, but something is being engineered. Market makers are engineering some sort of a move over here. And based on the market correction that we've already had, I am more inclined to believe that they're probably setting a massive limit order and reaccumulating into the zone over here. I said to the Whale Room Discord community yesterday that I've seen before on low market cap coins, things like meme coins or anything that's very new to launch. Sometimes what you'll see is these wicks develop. And then when you look into the order book, because you can see these things on chains like Solana, you can just go and look, you can find the wallet and you can see exactly what they're doing. And you can see that what they've done is, whether it be they're holding price down on the upside or they're stopping price from collapsing, pointers, you can see that they have an absolutely enormous limit order placed over there. So I personally wouldn't be surprised to see this having this resolving towards the upside. And then in hindsight, you would have seen this would have been a massive limit order with somebody accumulating over here. But again, you need to wait for those confirmations. Those confirmations will be first and foremost getting above $100,000. That's going to be a pretty key level that will take out yesterday's high. Remember, each day has been rejecting from these moving averages, that being the 9 and the 18 exponential moving average, which is still angled towards the downside. So we need some full-bodied candle closes. And then once you get above 100, you can start to challenge this all significant $101,000 level, which is where the initial breakdown happened on this candle over here, right? So some important zones to get back above. Price is attempting right now. It's busy grinding into that 50 moving average. The 50 moving average on the 4-hour time frame in recent times has governed the majority of this downward move, right? So again, the pros will be waiting for $100,000. If they are going to pull the trigger, it's probably going to be if price can get above the zone over here and hold above that $100,000 mark. That's going to be significant. That's going to be pretty important. You can start to reclaim these. You can see a similar picture on the hourly, right? Already attempting to hold above the 50 on the 1 hour, but you can see every single time we've got rejections from that 200 moving average or exponential moving average, right? So we fully retraced this big wick yesterday. I guess bears had the chance to break things down from that. That was incredibly bearish sign at the time. But again, defaulting back to this chart over here and looking at all these wicks, maybe this is all being engineered by a big market maker, which is allowing them to reaccumulate their position as they shake a lot of people out, because it is psychologically tough out there. A lot of, at least, great traders that I know are in, they're out, they're in, they're out, they're in, they're out, right? So we're seeing this shakeout continue. And following a shakeout, you usually get a massive breakout. It's just a question of which way are you going to break out, right? Are you going to break out towards the upside, or are you going to break down towards those key lower levels? Manage your risk accordingly. That's why I believe that probably one of the better positions to be in remains Bitcoin. And the reason being is because you do still have this massive fair value gap on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which you've now tagged into. Yes, you could come a little bit lower into that zone, closer towards, the 60.2% region. But as it currently stands, you are holding that fair value gap. And I would expect at least one more push towards the upside, whether that's going to set in a lower high as per the green trajectory or just continue up, I don't know. Therefore, the better position, at least for a short-term move from the current wick over here, which would be pretty much from, here to here is about a 1.64% move. You're probably still better off being in Bitcoin if you want the safe play, right? And then when you get confirmation of the lower high and you actually start to break below these key levels, this is the point where you can say this white line over here is where now you can say, okay, altcoin should definitely outperform from that point onwards, right? So that's what we're looking at over there. If we go into the Whale Room Discord, you can see looking at the deltas. What are the deltas? The deltas show what are the traders doing specifically on Binance? Are they mostly long or short? Usually you want to take the counter trade at the extremes, but we're not really at the extremes now. We're kind of in the mid-range, just chopping about in a no trade zone. Nevertheless, I'll share the information with you. We have slight positive on Bitcoin. We have more positive on ETH. We have negative deltas on Solana. We have positive on Pepe, negative on WIF, and we have positive on NEAR over there, right? So that is essentially the crux of the matter, the quick analysis of Bitcoin. Now, let's do some giveaways, right? We'll give away the BitFunded accounts. Again, guys, smash the like button. It really helps to get the show content out there. And then we can also go through, a couple of the altcoin requests as well. So smash the like button to get the show content out there. How do you get the BitFunded accounts, right? Firstly, remember we are doing Whale School, right? So part of the parcel is to get into Whale School. It's a 3-step process. What you need to do is you need to go to 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓, right? There's a link in the description below detailing absolutely all of this, and it's limited to the first 20. So if you want to front run me, all you have to do is read this. But firstly, sign up to 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓. By signing up to 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓 and depositing $200, you're automatically getting $100, guys, literally for free. You get $100 for free, which you can use to trade with, right? So sign up to 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓. There's no KYC required, right? That's the 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓 account over there. Get your $100. Then come through to Whale School. Literally just put your email address in there. Click sign up. You'll be signed up. And then the first 20 people who do that will get a BitFunded account, right? Once you've done that, please go through and email giveaways@𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏𝗧.com using the same email address that you used for 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓, the same email address which should have been used for Whale School, and then you will get a BitFunded account. We will email you with the login details and everything that you need. So very, very easy thing for you to do, right? Sign up to 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓, no KYC. It's a good exchange. I love it over there. Make a $200 deposit, get your $100 for free. Sign up to Whale School by putting in your email address. They're going to use this 𝗬𝗥𝗢𝗓 account username to verify you, right? So that you can get into Whale School. That's the at least your ticket in. And then we'll give you the BitFunded challenge, right? So again, what is BitFunded? I mean, it's a platform where you can essentially pay a deposit. In this instance, 20 of you are getting it for free. So you can pay $79. Then you get into the challenge. If you can get 8% profit, you pass stage 1. Then you go into stage 2. If you get 5% profit, you pass stage 2. And now you're trading with actual $5,000, right? Real money. So you get a demo account of 5,000. You pass into stage 2, still demo account 5,000. And then you go into stage 3, 5,000 real dollars. And then, of course, they have various different, plans that you can utilize. So it goes up to $100,000. There it is, the expert mode, $100,000. The terms are exactly the same. I do have to remind you and caution you and warn you, it's really important. You can never at any given point in time lose more than 5%, right? So even if you're trading on the live account and you pass all the challenges, you don't have 100,000 that you can suddenly gamble with. You still need to maintain that you never lose more than 5%, right? That teaches you good risk management. So the links are in the description below. Happy Valentine's Day. Cool. All right, let's go into this. Looking at the others BTC chart, similar to, it's been wrecked, of course, into this line, which was the expected area where we wanted major support to be found. Similar to what we've seen on ETH BTC, which is this chart over here, putting in little smidge of green over there on the weekly time frame. So it's going to take a little bit more time to reverse this. Again, if we do get a proper breakdown in the DXY, which is possible, that could do the trick, right? So we'll pay attention to that. I'll do many more altcoin requests tomorrow as well, by the way. So let me know in the comments what you want. We'll do a few now. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a show dedicated specifically to altcoin requests. So please do make sure that you are here live, same time, same place tomorrow. Cool. Let's get into it. I wanted to make mention as well of Polytrade. They're doing something pretty interesting in the space, and then we'll get into the charts, right? First ever decentralized option style market for tokenized real world assets, right? Which is pretty impressive. Already, options trading is quite a complex thing, and now they've done this in a decentralized fashion. So I think it's pretty interesting if you're looking for a strong real world asset pick. Here is the Polytrade chart, which has come all the way back down into major support over here. Similar to the rest of the market, it has had a major correction, but this is now going to be a key zone for an SR flip, right? So under the real world asset sector, Polytrade, one to look at. The other chart that we had been looking at over here was Mantra, right? Under real world assets as well. You can see slowly coming down But as long as you hold above that wick over there, I think that this one still has at least the opportunity there to pump one more time, right? Okay, cool. Let's see what else do we have. Let me know in the comments. I'm checking the comments. You guys say BitFunded, Laurie. Remember, all you have to do is look in the description over there if you want to get into BitFunded. Everything is there for you. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's see what else we have. Ondo, yes, let's have a look at Ondo. So some of the other real world assets. Where's Ondo? Have I lost the Ondo chart? Okay, I'm going to have to type it in. Somehow it must have moved. So Ondo. Okay, I remember at one point there was this massive rotation from Ondo into Mantra. I wonder if you're going to get something similar once again, but from Mantra back into Ondo. Let's just quickly put this back in place so it's going to be easy to find next time. Guys, apologies. Okay, I'll put it over here for now. We'll put it in the layer 2 section and I will figure this out later. Okay, there it is. Real world assets, Ondo. Okay, Ondo. So big wicks. What you have to be careful of is for any of the charts that you're looking at, ETH included. We'll look at ETH as well now. If there is a massive wick like this, there's always a possibility that you may come back and capture some of that liquidity, right? Big wicks mean inefficiencies. Markets don't like inefficiencies. Markets enjoy to be efficient, right? Which means that they come back to refill these zones. This creates an imbalance, right? So from there to there is an inefficiency or big market imbalance. Therefore, you mark out round about the equilibrium, which is the midpoint, and you expect that price could come back into that zone, right? So, a little bit of stink bids down there at $1.77 or $1.07. $1.077 is probably not a bad spot for Ondo. And if you look at ETH, it's probably going to look quite similar, right? I mean, ETH has already filled a lot of this. Theoretically, look, don't get me wrong, this is a downtrend, lower lows and lower highs, especially on a closing basis. But theoretically, ETH has come and tagged that level. We marked that out and we said that was the probable and most likely outcome that ETH would come towards the equilibrium, right? You need to give a little bit of leeway to these things. It's never going to be spot on at 2,511. In this instance, it went to 2,526. That's close enough. It's good. Okay, we can look at some of the meme coins. 𝗙𝗏, there's a question around 𝗙𝗏. Let's see what these things look like. I haven't looked at 𝗙𝗏 for quite some time, but I know this one was smashed. And yes, indeed it was, right? Indeed it was smashed. This is just a powerful, strong downtrend. These things will take time to recover, right? Following a beating like this, you would expect at the very least it would have to start to chop and range, form a trading range to allow time to reaccumulate before it has the ability to lead into the next move up, right? Okay, butthole. Let's have a look at butthole. Smashed as well. Okay, WIF. I see there's a question around WIF. A glimmer of hope with one green candle over there, but yeah, your major support is all the way down at 38 cents, which is absolutely brutal. These things have been annihilated. Was it the meme coin cabal? I don't know. Maybe they're all one and the same people because these charts all look the same. And they have been absolutely annihilated. This has got a lot of work to do. I definitely think that you would be better positioned in other coins, even if you put in a bounce like that. At some point it will, by the way. Anyway, look, you can see even through these downtrends, you get these absolutely enormous relief rallies. In this instance, you hardly got any relief rally, right? This has just been straight down. So at some point, you probably will put in a bit of a relief bounce towards about 150, and then you can have a look over here. Glenn Goldberg says Murad sold. I'm pretty sure he probably has 20 wallets, and they strategically allowed for one of the 20 wallets to be tracked. So it looks like he's not selling. Yes, probably sold. I mean, imagine fumbling, hundreds of millions of dollars. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, what else have we got, guys? What else have we got? Let's have a look at some of the more real-world sector coins. Okay, so we have hype over here. Let's just go back onto the hourly. Zoom in a little bit. It's again approaching this key level. This is your major range area, your breakout level. You really want to see hype. If it can maintain above $28, that's going to start to look good. Phantom's been putting in a pretty big bounce. I know it's called Sonic, but Phantom has more price history and it's still trading for some reason. You can see it's exactly the same price. So I'm going to have a look at this chart over here just so we get a bit of an idea. You are coming into resistance. If this rejects over here, it will be pretty brutal because that's yet another lower high. Theoretically, you did enough to fill 50% of that candle, filling the inefficiency that occurred from the initial crash, which is good. So, I would wait. Again, what would the pros do? The pros would probably wait. The pros would wait to start to reclaim some of these key zones over here, closing candles above 61 cents, and then you start to open up the opportunity for a better move, right? An easier trade. Okay, and you can call that a deviation at that point. All right, what else, guys? We don't want to take too many requests today because I want to reserve the request for tomorrow. But another one to look at quickly is 𝗬𝗎, right? I still think that 𝗬𝗎 looks good in the greater scheme of things, especially when you compare 𝗬𝗎 to Bitcoin. It's one of the few charts that are holding up some key levels, but USD wise, this has created new swing lows, right? So this is a pretty important zone for this to start to push up. It's too soon to call a low on this. Yes, indeed, that wick does look like it's probably a low, but you need to take out some of these key levels at about get back above $4, right? So you need to see something like this. Then the next pullback that occurs, that probably becomes the next best buying opportunity over there. So patience must be at least employed, right? You need to be a little bit patient and careful, waiting for confirmations. We can look at Popcat, but Popcat is going to look pretty similar to the rest of those coins, up 13%. Okay, Popcat is starting to reclaim. This is look, I'm out the Popcat position when this started to come down. Now, of course, de-risk, but this is where my first entry was, right? So if you wanted great prices, you back at those levels, right? This, to be honest, it got absolutely brutalized, but it doesn't look as bad as some of the other charts because you can see it has respected some of these key lows. So holding up over there, but again, I would wait. I would definitely give it a bit of time to start to clear some of these previous lower highs and just be patient, right? Even if it has a big relief rally like that, wait for the next high low, something like that. Maybe then it'll start to reverse, but all of this will take a little bit of time. Okay, Rune, how's Rune doing? Because I know Rune also got absolutely killed. I don't know if it's picked up at all. We'll go have a look at it. There's Rune. Okay, still not looking good, I must be honest. This, even if this pushes all the way up, you're kind of just filling this fair value gap or this inefficiency. Any push up into here is theoretically a bit of resistance, right? You already tested it. You filled the fair value gap, give or take. So, where can this picture start to turn around? And similar to the memes, this will take a lot of time. Like, you need to start to clear on a closing basis above there, above $2.20. If you can start to close above there, then now you start to have the chance to reverse things. But personally, I'm not a fan of buying things that have had such a strong downtrend, even if it does get a relief, because those reliefs could look like this, right? Smack into there. And then it could just continue a trajectory towards the downside. So this is not a good looking chart. All right. What else? Cool, guys. Let's have a look. Let's look at Jupiter because I know that they've been killing it on the fees. So Jupiter USDT, let's go to that, up 8%. Chart-wise, it's just range bound. I guess it is probably in this current market, if your coin wasn't downtrending but happened to remain within a trading range, that's probably not a bad sign, right? That's like the best that you're going to get is a trading range. So let's just clean that up a bit. There we go. That's your trading range. The range remains the same as what I previously outlined. Range lows are here at 68 cents. Any sweep into that level is an opportunity. You had a bit of hidden bullish divergence over there. If it can play out and get you above $1, then you start to reclaim mid-range. And then you can start to target towards about 128, right? Which those are big moves. That's like a 28% move, 28-30% move. Okay. Goku all the way back down at range low, still holding up over here. So you want to see a high low form over here. That is Goku, $11 million market cap, still up over a 10x when dropped in Whale Room. For those of you that want to join into Whale Room, by the way, there's a link below. There it is. I'm not the only person that's there. There is also a lot of absolute killer trades. Let me just quickly pull some of this up over here. So you can see, I mean, these are some of our traders. Let's just let that load. Farouk yesterday, Whiff Scalp, 23%, 22.8%. So there are a lot of trades. We're shorting the market, longing the market. If you are looking for a more active place to trade, here are some trades, short sell from Josh on Brett's 163% profit, 52 on Hype, 154% over there on XRP as well. So if you're looking for a community, that is the place to be. If you want a free community, remember that's going to be Whale School. So get your BitFunded account, get your WeX account over there, send us the email at giveaways. Everything is pinned over here. Remember, the first 20 people, that's what you're going to receive. So that's it from me, folks. Let's catch up tomorrow. We'll do some more altcoin requests. We'll dedicate that show specifically to altcoins. Make sure that you are there. Same place, same time. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know after the show, when this ends, the live show ends right now, in the comment section, which coins you want for tomorrow. I'll go through there and I'll chart all of those for tomorrow's show. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, everyone, and cheers for now. Happy Valentine's Day.